At Sage Leaders, we're working to transform political culture away from how it has traditionally functioned towards deep democracy, and our endorsements process is a key part of that vision. We utilize an anti-racist, feminist endorsements process to model Sage's core values like relationship building, collective leadership, and love through accountability. Our endorsements are centered on the recommendations of a volunteer group of Black, Indigenous, and people of color community leaders called the Political Leadership Council, or we call it the PLC for short. Everyone on the PLC is an alum of Sage's Community Leadership Institute, which is a fellowship program that prepares BIPOC leaders to serve on public boards and commissions. Through the PLC, we're able to share power and to reduce the gatekeeping that happens in traditional endorsements processes that typically center what staff and board wants over the recommendations of an actual community. As Sage Leaders staff, our role is not to make endorsement decisions. Our role is solely to facilitate the process, making sure that the community members who are making the endorsement decisions have all of the information and resources that they need to identify the candidates who will best represent them. But those decisions themselves are entirely up to the Political Leadership Council. The PLC members are the ones who are evaluating candidates. They're reading the questionnaires and they're asking the hard questions in candidate interviews. And the learning and the leadership development that happens through that endorsements process is really incredible. It's amazing to watch the learning that happens when our leadership council members are directly involved in the political process through our endorsements. I firmly believe that some of the folks who have served on the Political Leadership Council will one day be running for office. Last year, we had 9 PLC members, the majority of whom were Black women, who worked together to make endorsement decisions on behalf of Sage Leaders. In 2021, Sage Leaders endorsed 31 candidates for local office in 7 counties across the state. Most of those candidates were women of color, and we were able to support 18 of our endorsed candidates with first mile funding. In our conversations with former, current, and potential candidates, we kept hearing the same thing over and over, that fundraising is a huge barrier for candidates of color. It can feel insurmountable. Even beyond personal networks, there are powerful shadow networks of money available to candidates who will uphold the status quo that just aren't there for our leaders. Fundraising can be so intimidating that it can even prevent amazing community leaders from running for office in the first place. So we were trying to figure out, as an organization that supports BIPOC candidates, how can we reduce the fundraising barrier to make it easier for progressive candidates of color to run and to win. First Mile was a dream solution. When Progress Alliance donors first approached us about being part of the donor circle back in 2019, we knew that the only answer was yes. And we've continued to be extremely proud of our work in the First Mile Community Partners Coalition. First Mile democratizes campaign fundraising. It mobilizes wealth, but the decisions about where that wealth goes are entirely up to the community organizations. And we in turn are making those decisions based on what our community leaders have told us that they want. It's redistribution in action. Since First Mile launched in 2019, we have changed the game and made it significantly easier for progressive BIPOC candidates to raise the funds that they need to run successful campaigns. And we hear over and over from candidates in our networks about the positive impact that First Mile funding has had on their campaigns. In 2019, the year that we launched, First Mile supported a candidate named Cynthia Delestrinos Johnson. Cynthia won her campaign and became the first woman of color to serve on the Tukwila City Council. Tukwila is a majority BIPOC city that many low-income people who have been displaced from Seattle have moved to in recent years. Cynthia ran a transformative campaign. The political machine told her that in order to win, she needed to focus her outreach on white homeowners living in Tukwila's wealthier neighborhoods. But she knew that that tired strategy wasn't going to build the community power that she needed. So together, with her team of youth interns from the community, Cynthia worked hard door knocking and engaging directly with people from the many communities of color and immigrant communities that call Tukwila home, but are so often ignored by mainstream politics. And she won on that strategy. I'm very proud to have supported Cynthia's campaign. First Mile supported Brandy Donaghy's campaign for Snohomish City County Council in 2021. Brandy ran as a Black woman in a county that has become famous in recent years for its rising population of Proud Boys. She ran an incredible, values-driven campaign against a powerful white Republican incumbent. Although Brandy didn't win her race for Snohomish County Council, less than a month after the election, there was a vacancy for a state representative seat in her LD. Brandy campaigned for and won that appointment, and she's now a state representative for the 44th Legislative District. I love this story because it's an amazing example of the ways that running for office is never the end of someone's leadership journey. It's usually only the beginning.